Look, I'm not gonna even sugarcoat shit. I don't even have my actual vlogging camera out. I got my phone out, so it is what it is. It's gonna be a very impromptu vlog, but it's much needed. I am stressed and overwhelmed out of my fucking mind. And it's from my own doing. Like, I'm gonna let y'all know right now, all this is my own doing, but I am stressed as fuck. Like, 2 days ago, I almost nearly had a full blown panic attack, and I I know why. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that's been happening, both work wise, school wise, life wise, reptile wise, and I just things just kept hitting back to back to back. Now, as you know, a lot of people in the reptile community has been acquiring snakes, purchasing snakes, but it's been happening in the wintertime, and a lot of deals, a lot of auctions. So we've been waiting. We've been waiting for these animals because it wasn't all through winter, November, December, January, even February, parts of February. It's been, you can't ship out. It's not safe to ship out. I mean, you could risk it, but it's not safe to ship out, especially with FedEx delays and stuff like that. So if I'm just saying this for people who aren't in the reptile community and don't know about this, so a lot of us have been waiting on our animals to come, and finally it's now getting warmer and time for animals to be shipped out and go to their forever homes or whatever. And I've been getting new animals back to back to back. Now, I bought a tub specifically for quarantine, specifically for the new babies, away from my well established animals, and quarantining them, keeping them a buck. Anyways, there have been some situations that happened that kind of hit me back to back, and I'm not this isn't something that, I mean, you can try to avoid as much as possible, but at the same time, anything could happen with shipping, um, things sitting at the hub with other animals, things at reptile expos with other animals. Anyways, I had a respiratory issue with one animal, which has been rectified. The breeders pay for the vet bills, so shout out to them. No bashing, no hate. We just believe that the stress of shipping is what caused it. And then after that, like 2 days ago, I had a mite scare. Now, I've done all the million steps that you got to take to rectify. First of all, prevent. I've always had a mite preventative measure, but I had a little mite scare. But come to find out, after talking to a lot of people and doing my research and giving, yesterday I gave every snake in my collection a soak. Separately, of course, not all together. I gave them, and it took time. It took me most of the night soaking in Dawn dish soap water, lukewarm water, just to see if what I thought I saw was it. Doing research, Googling, talking to other people, other breeders. Come to find out, praise be to God, it was not mite. It's not a mite. Come to find out, I teach, for those who don't know, and during recess, me and the kids go to a park. All the teachers and their students go to a park, but this park is public. It's not like stationed off. School only, is public, and the weather has been so great that we've been going outside for recess every day. So what I'm thinking is that the bug I thought was a mite, because there was only one, the insect that I thought was a mite was some sort of small tick, and we're thinking that it got onto me at the park during recess one of the days this week, and it just, it traveled home. And so did all that mite treatment, preventive mite, reptile spray, all that jazz, the Dove soap. Anyways, it wasn't mite. It's not a mite outbreak. That bug is gone. It turned out to just be a weird looking tick. And the snakes are fine. Nobody has bugs. But when I tell you guys, I had a mental breakdown at home because I thought, oh my gosh, one of these new snakes brought something home, because I always check the animals when I unbox. I always check and go through, check for all the stuff, the respiratory infections, everything. And like I said, I have a separate quarantine tub enclosure in a separate room doing the you know. So I do a lot of preventative measures, but still it's not 100% foolproof. Anything could happen, especially because I had a snake come in through Tinley, because the breeder went and shipped them to Tinley because it was a lot easier for them to go to Redline, blah, boo, boo. A lot of people do it. So you never know. The breeder, I trust the breeder. His collection is clean. His animals are clean. Never heard a bad review. Everybody said good, healthy animals. I have 100% trust in the breeder. But the snake was in a room with a bunch of other animals from Tinley. So you're always taking a risk when you're shipping from another reptile show, expo. You're taking a risk, period, because these snakes and these reptiles, the lizards, when they're shipped at FedEx, there's a room specifically for those type of cargo at the FedEx hub. So you're in a room with a whole bunch of animals. Anything could be transported. Anything could hop from one package to another. So there's always a risk. There's always a risk. There's never 100% foolproof. You can always do all the preventive measures. Like I said, preventive mite spray, reptile spray, cleaning, all that stuff beforehand, during, after. But anyways, I thought what I thought, because I've been keeping reptiles for, this going to be my 9th year, almost 10 years, almost a decade of keeping and care for reptiles. I never, praise be to God, had a mite situation, knock on wood. I'm not going to say I'll never have a situation, but I've never dealt with it. So I did not know what they look like. I did not know what to look for. So when I saw this weird tick looking thing in my house, when I was, just doing everyday, it freaked me out because I don't have any mammals in my house. If I still had my dog, I would have assumed, oh, it's a tick from a dog. She probably caught it when she was playing outside, but I don't have my dog. Haven't had her since last summer. I've been mammal free, no cats, no nothing. And so it's like, where did this bug that I've never seen come from? So anyways, I had a full mental breakdown. So after I say all that to say, after I make sure everybody was clean, make sure everybody was good, there isn't mites, it was a false alarm, I really broke down and cried because I was so stressed. I was stressed, not just with this situation or with the RI snake that I had to deal with for a couple of weeks. And again, the RI snake is clean. The breeders paid for the vet bills, medicine, no symptoms. We're good. We're great. I'm super happy. I still love this animal. Everything has been rectified, but it was like back to back to back to back things happening on top of things happening at work, on top of things happening, because we're coming on to the fourth quarter, which is testing, the end of year, the state test that every child has to go through. So there's a lot of stress and pressure for everyone, not just the students, the teachers, the administrations, everyone. And so it was just back to back to back to back things happening. And I just broke down and cried. I felt myself about to have a mental breakdown. But then, thank God, I have over 10 years of therapy. And, I have a lot of strategies and skills that I've learned over the years, counting exercise and breathing exercise and listening to music, sometimes just stopping everything and taking a nap. That works wonders, you know what I'm saying? So and then I talked it out with just a few close people in my life, just a few close friends in the reptile community, just talking certain things out, just getting frustrations out. And I lost grip of my work-life balance. That's the main problem and why I'm so frustrated and overwhelmed. I lost grip of my work-life balance. I've been going hard in the paint with grad school. I've been going hard in the paint with work, my regular 9-to-5 job, teaching kids. I've gone hard in the paint with the reptile stuff. And speaking of reptiles, I know that this is all my undoing. This is all my mistake, and this is all my fault. I went too hard on acquiring animals. A lot of these new animals that I got, I love them. I don't regret them. I don't have buyer's remorse of the actual animals themselves because I need them for my future projects, but I do have buyer's remorse on the timing. A lot of these animals, at least 5 or 6 of these animals, I could have waited. I could have waited till the summer to acquire, even if it's not the exact animals, maybe, a different animal from a different breeder, different genetic, but the same genetics that I need for my projects. I could have gotten these animals this summer. I could have gotten winter. I could have gotten some of these animals next year. And I feel like because of the market, it's being a buyer's market, and it's a great opportunity to grab things that I could not have afford previous years before, the recession or whatever, and the economy changing. I went too hard, too fast, and I should have waited. Like I said, I don't regret any animal that I've gotten, and I don't regret anything that I bought and purchased, because I really do need these for my projects. Now that I've added breeding into Creative Reptiles, and even some of these snakes I'm not breeding, that I've acquired, I'm not breeding, but I'm using them purposely for educational shows. But I can admit that at least 6 of them I could have waited on. And like, again, that's my undoing. I have the snakes now. I've paid the money. I got them, and I'm going to care for them. I'm not slacking in that department. I'm not slacking when it comes to feeding them. I have money. The most of them pay for themselves with one photo shoot or one educational show. They get paid for like 3 or 4 months worth of food. But it's just, I'm a one-man show. I'm a one-man bandstand. And breaking my ankle really put in perspective and brought me back to reality, because for 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks, almost a month, for 2 weeks, I could not do shit when it came to my animals. My nieces had to help me. They had to help me change their water bowls. They had to help me, get some snakes out, like Jimmy, my big boa. I needed help getting him out of his enclosure so we can clean. They had to help me with cleaning. They helped me with feeding, and I appreciate it. But they're young kids. I'm besides them, I'm a one-man band show. So it's like, even with their help, it was still a lot of work. And I realized, shout out to anybody with physical disabilities, who care for reptiles, like Bionic Benny. Shout out to Bionic Benny. He is an amazing dude. But he works with animals, and he's missing a leg. He works with big animals. Like, Jimmy's big, but Benny, he works with retics, and I think he has a couple of burns and false water cobras, and he's doing this all with one leg. So it just put a lot of things in perspective for me. And so, like I said, I can be accountable for my actions and know that I did too much too fast. I lost grip of my work-life balance, and I just gotta slow the fuck down. And this false alarm mite scare put things in perspective. The snake with RI put things in perspective, because I had to do everything separate with him. Then my rest of my snakes, he had to have separate stuff. When I'm cleaning, I can't use the same tools just to stop any spread from happening, with germs and stuff. And then every 3 days I had to give him his antibiotic shots. And so it just put everything in perspective that I've done. I went way too hard in the paint. I need to slow the fuck down. I need to slow things down. And I'm definitely slowing down on acquiring animals. No auctions. The animals I've already paid for, they're already coming. We're just waiting on whether. That's something totally different. The animals I get from my mentors, that's totally different. But anything outside of that, I'm not adding anything else. I need to slow the fuck down. And I also need to get a grips on, like I said, my work-life balance. I need to redo my schedule. I need to redo my operation on feeding days, cleaning days. Do I do all the hatchlings one day? Do I do all the big snakes one day? Do I do ball pythons all one day, boas one day? I just got to redo everything, revamp everything, reschedule everything, and just slow down. Also, a big part of this is that I need to slow down with the podcasting. I'm going to still do my podcast, Snake Cinema Podcast, and I'm going to still support everybody else podcast, but I'm just not going to be watching them live every single night, because I try to support all my friends and my family, the people I love, Wiz Tank Clan, Usual Suspect, the Trappers, the V Unit, but I can't be glued. I mean, most of the time I'm listening to these podcasts, I'm watching these podcasts, it's while I'm working, like cleaning snakes and stuff like that, or when I'm making lesson plans, I have it in the background listening. But watching them live as they're actually happening, I'm gonna have to take a break and slow down. Also, being a guest on people's podcasts, which I love, and I appreciate everybody who's ever invited me on. I just need to slow down and do a little at a time. Like I always hop on with Wiz podcast for Sophisticated Ignorance every Saturday, and I love doing it. But if I hop on, I have to max out after an hour, probably after 30 minutes, because I've lost sleep, especially on the weekends, and I just need to get back on the swing of things. Like I said, work-life balance. That is the key. I have to pull a rein on some things, you know what I'm saying? And there might be some things that I have to say no to. And that, hell, I love my peoples, and I love doing Beyond the Scales every Tuesday with my friends. I'm going to have to, there might be a Tuesday that I just take off just to get things done, or simply just to rest, because that mental breakdown was hard. If they got it happen at home and not at work or not in school when I'm in grad school in my classes, they got it happen at home. But I just have to slow everything down. Slowing down on the podcast, slowing down on acquiring animals, slowing down on every single thing. Social media, y'all gonna see me post less and less. I've already started posting less and less on TikTok and stuff, but y'all gonna start seeing, I'm gonna make it to where people miss me. I'm not going away completely. I just have to slow things down. Like I said, when I get into the groove of things, I go hard in the paint. I go hard. I don't half ass shit. I don't half ass shit. I do everything 110%, and it's killing me. Cause it feels like I have 3 jobs in one. I mean, I really do technically, cause I'm a student, I'm a teacher, and I have Creative Reptiles, and all the conglomerates of Creative Reptiles, cause there's multiple factors in this. This isn't just a breeding company. This is everything. And so, yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I canceled this Saturday's podcast. I need a break. And next weekend is Easter weekend. I'm busy. I gotta work cameras at church. I was supposed to travel to Nashville for an educational show with the snakes. I just have to slow things down and prioritize certain things. And certain things are gonna have to be neglected, aka YouTube, or or whatever, social media and stuff like that. So again, this is a very impromptu vlog. I shot on my phone instead of my regular camera with the professional mic. That meltdown really put a lot of things in perspective, and after sleeping everything off and getting those emotions out, I now have more clarity, and I know where I messed up. I know where I fucked up. I'm taking accountability, and now it's time to implement better strategic plans so I can be successful but not burn out, if that makes sense. But anyways, that's it, y'all. Sorry, no podcast this Saturday. I hope this video makes up, and this explanation helps you understand where I'm coming from. And again, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everybody who support. I appreciate my tribe, my family, the Shenanigans, the West Tank Clan, the V Unit, the Trappers, the Usual Suspects, everybody, F&A family, everybody who loves on me and support me, and I love on them and support them back. I appreciate y'all. But yeah, that's it. Hopefully I'll have a new vlog soon. Probably the last 2 unboxings from the last couple of animals that came in. But again, everything is good. The snake that got RI is good. The mite scare was a false alarm. There is no mites, thank God. But again, work-life balance. Try not to go too hard in the paint, and try not to go too hard when acquiring animals. Take your time, slow down. We don't have to rush. We already got to wait on these animals to grow up in size and to breed when they're ready. So we can wait on everything else. Patience is key. But anyways, I love y'all. I'm your host, Prince Elias. This has been Snake Prince Vlogs, and I will check you in the next one. Peace.